Live from New York, it's the show that's starting the game with an onside kick. It's first things first today. So, are the Cowboys that good, or were the Giants that bad?
Well, Wilds, I'm going to give your favorite answer.
Don't say it.
No, the answer is both. Oh my God. The Cowboys are that good, and the Giants very well may be that bad. Let me start on the Cowboys, the team that I picked to go to the Super Bowl for the reason of they're going to have the best defense in football. They can just send wave after wave of guys at you. And if you single block Micah Parsons, you're cooked. And if you double team him, as the Giants found out last night, you might also be cooked. They double teamed Micah Parsons 14 times last night. The Cowboys generated 10 pressures and 5 sacks when he was double teamed. And so it's like, okay, I guess we have to single team him. But then you have the best defensive player in the sport going after you. And they have Trayvon Diggs in the secondary. And they added Stephon Gilmore, whose demise was greatly overstated by many. And so they have all of that going for them on defense. On offense, they didn't even have to do anything last night, but we know they have a quarterback who has been the quarterback of the number one offense in football at different points of his career. A quarterback who had a brilliant playoff game a few months ago in the calendar year 2023. That's why the Cowboys are the best team in the NFC. That's why I picked them to win the NFC. Now to the Giants side of the coin. This is a franchise that, in short order, will be in somewhat of disarray because they made a critical error this offseason. They could have franchise tagged Daniel Jones and gave him a one-year play adult football tryout. Instead, they wanted to franchise tag Saquon, extend Daniel Jones. Now they're tied to a quarterback who 1 minute into their season, the broadcast is saying, well, they know they have to get at least 70 yards rushing from Daniel Jones to have a chance. 1 minute into the year, when things were going well. When things were going well.
Is he a dual threat? Yes, he's like Lamar.
Before it all went to hell with the blocked field goal, Collinsworth and Tirico were all over themselves about how well Daniel Jones was playing. He had 0 yards passing.
Well,
that's their guy, which is why, and Brew, I hate to do this, but before even we hear from Chris Broussard or Kevin Wilds, let's hear from the person America really wants to hear from. Live via Skype in Minnesota, Greg Jennings, author of Daniel Jones is better than the Prince and Daniel Jones is better than Dak Prescott. One question for you, Greg Jennings. Who was the better quarterback last night?
Look, it's simple. I mean, Dak, if you want to say he was the better quarterback last night, he was the better quarterback.
Thank you so much, Greg Jennings. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you for taking the time live from Minnesota. Greg, we will see you next week. Absolutely, that's all I needed to hear. So go right ahead, Brew.
Well, look, Greg Jennings, and I'm sure the reason you had him on was because he has said Daniel Jones is a top 10 quarterback. And he's been saying that since last year. Now, what I saw last night, Daniel Jones might be a top 10 running back, all right? Like, he ran the ball well for the first 2 minutes of the game. But after, he is not a top 10 quarterback, and the only running he did last night was for his life.
Who do you want? So is he supposed to block Micah Parsons?
No, but
you did 5 minutes on how Micah Parsons.
So are you saying it's on the board that he's a top 10 quarterback?
It's on the board if he can get someone to protect.
Who do you want?
Who would succeed behind that line last night? Name any quarterback in the history of the NFL.
At left tackle.
Name any quarterback in the history of the NFL that would succeed.
He hasn't done a thing to warrant being in anybody's top 10. That's all we're saying. I'm not saying I expected wonders last night. I'm just saying the dude is mediocre.
It's a divisional game, and they were at home, and they made the playoffs last year, and they got beaten away. No team has ever gotten beat on opening weekend. In every facet they got ruined. And Dable, you could see it midway through the first quarter. He was in shame, and I think Dable's excellent, but he could see that the downpour was coming in a way. Your Patriots also down 16-0.
Dable does have things to answer for because his team wasn't prepared.
No.
I mean, initially, it was interesting because, again, the first few minutes with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley running the ball, they marched right down the field. And then it just went south like a play or two before the field goal attempt that was blocked. From there, it was all downhill.
It was a false start that got him out of the thing. It's 3rd and 2, so you have falls start, you can't run. So now you got to pass on 3rd and 7. He gets sacked, and then the field goal's blocked and it falls apart.
But to answer your question, Wilds, because at that point, Nick, I was getting, when they were marching, I was getting my F game take ready.
Oh, you were?
I was like, this is the Cowboys. They're marching right up the field on you. But then they righted the ship, obviously, to say the least. Nick is right in that.
You're gonna be saying that a lot
It's
today.
kind of both in that the Cowboys, they're not that good. I mean, who is that good? It wouldn't even be a competition if they were that good, 40-0 over a team that made the playoffs last year. And the Giants aren't that bad where, I mean, they wouldn't win a game if they played like that all season. But if I have to pick one, I'm going to lean toward the Giants.
I agree.
Okay? Because obviously we know the Cowboys are legit contenders, but the Giants, after the 6-1 start, and I'm thinking when I look at the way it played out, okay, teams saw what they're doing, figured them out, because you know how they've played since the 6-1 start? 4-8-1. That's including last year's playoffs when they actually won a game.
Yeah.
All right? So 4-8-1 since last year's 6-1 start. I mean, that's 13 games. That's a nice sample size. They are not a very good team. You know, I picked them to finish last in the NFC East, and that's what they looked like last night.
Highest pressure rate, single game the last 4 years. It was the Colts against the Titans, it was the Jets against the Dolphins, and it was last night, Cowboys and Giants, 62%. Now, I don't want to bring this to Patrick Mahomes, but when Patrick Mahomes got pressured by the Bucs, we gave Patrick Mahomes a full pass on that because Patrick Mahomes.
You don't think he's earned that?
He had already
Compared to Daniel Jones?
But when you're under that much duress, there's nothing you can do. So all of a sudden, like it's Daniel Jones' fault because it's hike.
No, but hold on.
That's Daniel Jones
Hold
stinks.
on. No, but we also saw the game. The passes that he was able to throw were off target. One of the reasons the Cowboys were able to attack the way they were was because they were not afraid of him beating them down the field. You are correct that every quarterback is not held to the exact same standard in every game. We're going to talk about Joe Burrow here in a bit. There are a lot of quarterbacks in this league that if in week 1 of the season they threw for 80 yards on 30 passes, we would be saying there's a quarterback controversy. We're not doing that to Joe Burrow because he has earned the benefit of the doubt. Just the way in the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes, we did say it was about the pass rush, not about Mahomes not coming through. But for the Giants, the Giants were a team. Everyone liked the coach. Everyone thought they improved the roster in the offseason. They're a young-ish team, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. They made the playoffs last year. Yet, they were underdogs to make the playoffs this year. Why? Because people didn't believe in the quarterback. Whether or not he could actually throw the ball consistently down the field. And in the first game,
Nick, they have not given him the weapons at receiver. To me, they're
LeBron
only
James
really
is
good
tight end.
weapon.
I don't know if you
Well,
heard
no,
it.
that's their only decent. Yeah, I remember when he compared him to LeBron James. You're
Darren
right.
Waller.
But their only real Waller is their only real weapon as far as a receiver.
Yeah.
No, I mean as a receiver, and so that's a problem too. A mediocre quarterback needs great weapons.
I disagree with both of you.
Wow.
Well, you think the Giants are
the
going to be fine?
defender of mediocre
Hold on.
quarterbacks. That's Kevin Wilder.
No, because I think the offensive line is obviously an absolute mess. But I think putting it on Daniel Jones is
he was just one of many things.
I was also grinding the all-22. So once Coach comes out here, we're going to teach you guys some stuff.
Okay.
Dak didn't do much. Brew, you are the inventor of the F game. You are the inventor of SBOB, Super Bowl or bust. Right now, are you leaning more SB, Super Bowl, or bust for the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, before I answer your question, let me start here.
Have the answer.
Y'all ripped me, including Greg Jennings, when I said for the Cowboys it is Super Bowl or bust. Now let me ask both of you a question. After what we saw last night,
bro,
is there any scenario, is there any planet in which if the Cowboys get to the NFC title game, that they should be satisfied?
Yes, they lose to the Niners, who look as the way they did yesterday all year.
Really?
Yeah. And Purdy's
after what we saw last night, you think Cowboy Nation should be satisfied
I don't wanna have
with just getting to the NFC title game?
Hold on. Would Cowboy Nation be satisfied is a different question. Would I consider it a successful season? Yes.
Really?
But do I think, Brew, but now will you answer the question?
Okay, I will. But I just wanted to clarify because we're all Super Bowl or bust now. It was me a month ago,
swayed
but
me
now
over
it's all of
I
us.
picked him to
Super
go
Bowl
there.
or bust. Okay, so you're with me then.
Okay.
Anyway, look, the Cowboys, I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl. I didn't even pick them to get to the Final Four, the NFC title game.
Yeah.
But I have said Dallas, San Francisco, Philadelphia,
here's
the
the hedge
three
cover.
top
Yeah.
teams in the NFC. I've always said they are legit
And then you
contenders.
added
You have
Detroit
to
there,
admit that.
so now there's four.
Detroit, look,
Yeah,
that
you
offensive
added
line,
Detroit there.
True, I buy that.
they're not going to run through Detroit's offensive line like the Giants. Sorry about that. But defense, check.
Yeah.
Special teams, which started it all last night.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah.
Run game. Check. I'll even give McCarthy a check for winning the Super Bowl. The guy we saw talking, that's a bit of a question mark. And last night, I get it, it was raining. As if you can't play in rain. It was raining, okay? I get it. They didn't need
They
that
didn't need it. They won 40
You're
to
right.
nothing.
You're right. But with no pressure. I could have completed one pass last night with no pressure.
You'd have zero.
Okay?
You'd be zero.
He was 13 for 24,
on, man.
143 yards.
Come
You
on.
want evidence? Look at these
Oh,
throws
God, we're
from
gonna
Dak
do a-
Prescott.
we're gonna do
Look
a
at this.
low-
What is that?
That's a
What is that?
throw. It's a missed throw.
Look at this.
Throw.
Here's another missed throw. And that should have been a touchdown. And this one is the worst. I mean, Dak.
Okay.
And I'm a guy that likes
Look
Dak.
at the scores in this. Okay.
My point is this.
I like
this works against Daniel Jones and the moribund New York Giants. Will it work against, yes, I'm going to say it, Brock Purdy and the
well, that's the
49ers?
thing.
Will it work
So
against
here's-
Jalen Hurts
so
and the
this is
Philadelphia
the-
Eagles? So I'm
This is
saying
the flaw in the
that
argument.
is a problem.
This is the flaw in the argument. The flaw in the argument, anyone arguing anything other than, of course the Cowboys can make the Super Bowl, of course they are on par or at the very least on par with anyone in their conference. Anyone arguing against that then has to be like, and it's because I believe in Brock Purdy more than Dak Prescott.
Brock
and that's
Purdy
foolish.
has looked
Hold on.
fantastic.
We're going to talk about Brock Purdy in a moment. But if anyone right here wants to stand up and say they think Brock Purdy's better than Dak Prescott, I'm excited to hear it. I think that will age as well as Daniel Jones being better than Trevor
I'm
Lawrence.
not saying that.
Of
I'm
course
just
you're
saying,
not.
but there aren't question marks right now about Brock Purdy like there are about Dak.
Okay. Well, can I just answer this?
Why did he? Okay,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I agree. They are legit contenders. I've
Yes.
always said that. But Dak, the one, I'm just going to say, not so bright spot last night was Dak's play.
Listen,
I know they didn't need him, but he didn't throw it well.
Across the NFL, we saw mostly sloppy quarterbacking. Not entirely.
Sloppy play in
not
general, offensively.
And so the point that I am trying to make is that when you are looking amongst the NFC, the Cowboys check as many boxes, if not more, than every other team if you believe in Dak more than Purdy. I vehemently believe in Dak more than Purdy. Now, you want to believe in Jalen more than Dak, that's totally understandable. Jalen had his own bit of struggles yesterday, I thought, and we can discuss that. The Eagles also, defense to me, looks like it might have taken significant step back
they were still pretty
compared
good.
to where the Cowboys
They were
defense
really good.
is.
They're facing
The
a-
Cowboys right now, I believe,
They look great this
deserve to be close, but the NFC favorites. I haven't looked at the odds this morning. Maybe the Niners are, but I think the Cowboys deserve to be the NFC favorites.
Those two look the best over the
of
whole
every
week
team in the
one.
league.
No
right
doubt.
now.
Those
There's
two
no
look the
question.
Oddly, it was such a beatdown. I almost would give Dallas more credit if it was like 35-17.
Really?
And you could see Dak do something. It just got out of hand. It just turned into cardio at one point.
it was
Once
bad.
Cooper Rush
It
is
was
in the
bad.
game, like, oh,